Hi, I'm Lindsay from Shreve Memorial Library, and today we're going to learn how to make cat and dog toys out of an old t-shirt. You only need a few supplies. For the dog toy, you just need an old t-shirt and a pair of sharp scissors. I have fabric scissors here. You don't have to use fabric scissors, but find the sharpest scissors you have. You also, for the cat toy, need thread, some needles, a Sharpie, and a little bit of rope of yarn for the tail. If you don't have yarn, you can just use a spare little rip off of your dog toy. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of the seams off of this t-shirt. I'm going to cut off the neck, the shoulders, the sleeves. Don't throw the sleeves away. We're going to use them for the cat toy. I'm going to cut off the bottom, and that's about it for the moment. I'm going to leave the sides. Okay, I have cut off all of the seams except I've left the sides. What I'm going to do next is straighten this out as much as I can. It will be pretty much a tube of t-shirt at this point. And lay it out where bottom t-shirt, top of t-shirt. We are going to make cuts from the bottom all the way up to the top, so you'll end up with a bunch of strips. I'm going to go up to the point where the sleeves hit, and then I'm going to end up discarding this little side. And the same thing for the others. For the rest of it, I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches or so, like that. Just little strips of it with it folded in half. We're just going to end up with strips of t-shirt. Okay, here I am at the end. I'm just gonna, for now, kind of discard this one. We might use it for stuffing for the mouse toy if we need it. So here's what I have. I have a large pile of t-shirt strips. And here's what I'm gonna do with them. I'm gonna pull them individually. Okay, I'm gonna tug on them a little bit, and you see what happens when you tug on a t-shirt that you've removed the seams from? It curls up. So I'm gonna do that with all of them. It also lengthens them, and gather them in one place so we can braid them. Okay, now I have a bunch of t-shirt strips of close to the same length. None of this is exact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie one end in a knot. Now, if you've used a big t-shirt that's like thick and you end up with like a real handful, you might want to take some of your strips out, because it's hard to tie the knots in the first place, but it's harder when it's thick, and the bottom knot after we do some braiding is going to be really hard if you have a really big handful. The fabric of the t-shirt that I just cut up is pretty thin, so I'm going to keep all of mine, but if you have a lot, or if you have a really hard time tying the first knot, take a couple of strips out until it's more comfortable, because you'll thank yourself for it once we get down to this bottom knot, which is the hardest part of this whole thing. Here's my knot. I am pushing it as far down to the end as I can, like that, and tightening it that way. And then I'm going to do something that might seem a little bit tedious. I'm going to pull both ends of each of these pieces of shirt. Okay, so I'm going to do every single one of these, and I'm going to pull them as tight as I can for both this side of the knot and that side of the knot. And that's really what's going to tighten up our knot and make our toy last longer, so our dogs won't shred it immediately. See how much smaller this knot is now that I've done that? So there's this end. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna comb them all out with our fingers, and then we're gonna braid it. We're not gonna go all the way to the bottom because we have that knot at the bottom is gonna take up a lot of it, but I'm gonna do probably about that much. And just simple braid. Okay, that's about as much as I think I can get. The thicker your t-shirt, the shorter and fatter your braid is going to end up. And the more strands you use. So I'm going to tie this off in a knot, just like I did up here. I'm going to pull this as tight as I can, smush it down. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did with this end, and pull each individual strand. Okay, there is my second knot. It's pretty small too since I pulled every strand, and now I'm going to cut this off whatever length. Just try and make it, you know, where all of the strands are about the same length. And don't throw these away. I'm going to do it to both ends. We're going to use these to stuff our cat toy in a minute. Okay, here is our completed dog toy. I hope your dogs enjoy it. Next, we're going to do the cat toy. Okay, for the cat toy, all we need is one of these sleeves. I'm going to use a Sharpie to mark it. You don't need to mark yours. I'm just going to show you where I'm going to cut. You need your scissors and you need a needle and thread and a little piece of yarn. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do the cat toy. I'm going to get the shoulder side of the sleeve of the t-shirt and I'm going to make kind of half of a heart, okay? It's going to start with a pointy end like that. It's going to curve up. And then it's going to curve down some. Okay? And then I'm going to cut that. Here's what it looks like. Kind of looks like a heart. Hold it in half. Let's see. It's like that. And then I'm going to sew. I'm going to start at the pointy end and I'm going to go, let's see, hold it like I'm going to do it. I'm going to start at the pointy end and I'm going to go to about right there. Okay? This is about an inch from the bottom of it. So I've stopped sewing about that inch before the end, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it inside out. And now I'm going to stuff it with the extra bits of t-shirt we have left over from when we cut the ends off the dog toy. I happen to have some catnip. I'm going to stick a little bit of that in there because, you know, cats like catnip. Okay, I've stuffed it, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold in the bottom on itself some, just like that, and I'm going to take my yarn, I'm going to tie a couple knots in one end of it, and this is going to go inside the mouse and help hold the tail in so it doesn't get yanked out. There we go, pretty big knot. I'll put this in here and then tuck everything kind of in just like that, and then I'm gonna sew up the rest of this on the outside just over the tucked in part. When I get to the tail, I'm gonna try and go through the tail at least once, and that'll help hold the tail in too. Okay, now I'm going to tie off my yarn and then run the needle through the through the mouse to hide where that piece of string is. Okay, I ended up with a big old knot at the end there, but that's okay. My cat certainly won't care. Now we're pretty much done. All we're going to do now is take a marker. Any kind of marker really will work. And I'm going to make some eyes. Okay, and I'm going to make a nose. I'm going to make some whiskers. Okay, I'm going to make some ears. And here is our cat toy. Isn't it cute? Okay, well, we have made a dog toy and a cat toy from an old t-shirt. I hope you made them along with me. If you did, please take a picture and send it into the library's social media. There will be links below the video. I hope you had a great time doing this with me. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.